Welcome to the CEO's blog for this week. Bathurst Gold Crown Carnival is over, and what a wonderful carnival it was. Fantastic crowd on course, but what is interesting to note is the meeting on the New South Wales TAB was the 5th highest turnover meeting for the year in harness racing. So everything is being done correctly there by Bathurst. Not only are they entertaining the wonderful crowds that arrive, but the punting public is certainly behind these fantastic Group 1 races that we put on the night. Every final had a story to tell, and some of these really reached the heart. The crowd gathered round to watch the presentations and cheer on the worthy winners. In the Gold Crown, Mr. Ray gave trainer Ray Walker and driver Darryl Perrott their first Group 1 successes. And to boot, the trainer was also the part breeder with his wife Jane and the part owner, also with Jane and Leeton local Greg O'Callaghan, whom Ray gifted a share in Mr. Ray. Ray Walker collected an armful of trophies and was very popular with his grandchildren, with so many crowns and a mare and foal trophy from the New South Wales Breeders Association, which was very fascinating to the little girls.
And below the 100-metre mark, it leads by 6 metres. It's getting leg-weary, masquerading, tries hard, but it's Mr. Ray's Gold Crown. You beauty, says Darryl Perrott, and it goes home to win it.
Just Hope careered away in the Gold Tiara final for trainer Russell Jack and driver Zach Phillips, with the trainer landing the Quinella, with Captain's Queen finishing second.
It's dashed right away from Oppenheimer Blue, Silk Cloud and Captain's Queen getting out, but it's all Just Hope on the Tiara, and Just Hope bolts in.
New South Wales Oaks winner Antonia captured her second Group 1 in a month. Owners Charlie and Antoinette Summit were ecstatic when the filly won the gold bracelet for trainer David Thorne and driver Jack Trainer.
And it's all Antonia. She is top shelf and she's going to cruise down, and that's 3 winners for Jack Trainer tonight.
Victorian colt Idyllic won the Gold Chalice final for a group of more than 20 owners when driven by Luke McCarthy for trainer Clayton Tonkin.
Tasty Delight stays on, 100 left to go. Idyllic still the leader, inch by inch trying to cut it back on the inside. It's cashed up, but it's Idyllic's Chalice. Idyllic wins the Chalice.
But there is more than just the racing at Bathurst. The Bathurst Club co-hosted the honoree dinner with the Bathurst Regional Council Mayor Bobby Burke on Friday night, which Bernie Kelly and Bruce Harpley were inducted into an esteemed group of participants. At this function, Harness Racing New South Wales board member Peter Nugent presented Danny Dwyer with the prestigious Don Clough Award for his sustained voluntary contribution to the industry. Surprised as Danny was, even the chief executive of the Bathurst Club didn't realise how many industry associations and groups he serves on and in a voluntary capacity, some of which have been for more than a decade. Mr. Nugent also presented Tony Dumacy the Outstanding Service to Breeding Award, which was bestowed upon his father Stan, mother Nancy and himself by Harness Racing New South Wales, recognising that the trio had been operating Rubyvale Stud since 1956. Congratulations must be extended to Wayne Barker and his committee, Danny Dwyer, Marianne, Mel and Amy for what was yet another outstanding carnival, which took in not only the racing but several other off-track social activities, functions and events, a truly mammoth effort from all involved, and congratulations once again. And there'll be plenty of harness racing action over the Easter weekend here in New South Wales. The appetites of all harness racing enthusiasts should be well and truly satisfied. The Renshaw Cup at Penrith on Thursday night starts a fantastic weekend of harness racing action with a return to the TAB Carnival of Cups schedule. Saturday night features another TAB Carnival of Cups meeting with the 58th Intercity Pace at Maitland, where local trainer Clayton Harmey has set a new standard when qualifying 6 horses for the final. At Wagga on Sunday, the Millbrae Quarries and Ladex Riverina 4 and 5-year-old championships finals have drawn outstanding fields on the 10-race program. But the features are exactly what was imagined when this carnival was announced in 2019. COVID has only delayed the delivery by Harness Racing New South Wales. As was mentioned briefly on the blog last week, it's pleasing to announce formally that the finals of the Major Series 2021 New South Wales Breeders' Challenge will be conducted for $150,000 each. This is the highest stake for any state-based series across Australia. So the New South Wales Breeders' Challenge is certainly delivering. Another important decision that was reached was that the finals of the regional championships will be conducted with the Inter-Dominion heats later in the year. And of course, there were some minor changes to the way a 2-year-old can redeem its bonus, especially in the early part of the season. So I suggest to everybody, go to the website, check out what those minor changes are. They are a benefit to owners and trainers, and they are considered by Harness Racing New South Wales Board to certainly help our industry in redeeming these valuable bonuses. And just a reminder, the regional racing boundaries have been settled and are up on the website. These will take effect for the TAB Regional Championships, which will commence in May. Of course, when it comes to Breeders' Challenge and the regional boundaries, these are for preference uses only. So in the major series, whatever you do, make sure you follow those conditions carefully, know what the conditions are, and if you have any queries, certainly contact Sean Snudden here at Harness Racing New South Wales, and he will help you through it. Of course, the Breeders' Challenge for 2021 doesn't begin until September, but it doesn't hurt to know what those conditions are now, so you can plan a campaign for your horse to reap the most benefits out of what the conditions are, and of course, once again, make it through to those major finals, which are now $150,000 each. And whilst on reminders, the NUTRIEN yearling sale is on in Melbourne on April 10 and 11. The NUTRIEN sale features 86 superbly bred New South Wales yearlings from some of our top vendors. On Saturday, April 10, from 12 noon, there will be the Woodlands Yearling Parade and welcome drinks, with the first 100 lots being offered from 4 p.m. The sale continues on Sunday, the 11th, at 11 a.m. Harness Racing New South Wales will conduct a draw from the 86 yearlings offered by New South Wales vendors and provide 2 by Breeders' Challenge Series fee payments for each of the colts and the fillies. There will be 4 in total to the new owners to reap the benefits of the New South Wales Breeders' Challenge, where, I will say once again, the finals of the major series will be $150,000 each. And perhaps just as we thought we were coming to the end, we know vaccinations are on the way, but COVID is still around us. Just look at the situation in Queensland right at this time. Hopefully that will be rectified soon and we'll get back to some sort of normality. Already there's been an impact on the New South Wales Mini Trot Championships and horses coming into Narrabri and some of the northern tracks from Queensland. So please be careful with what you do and make sure you follow all government instructions when it comes to COVID. As the Chief Health Officer says time and time again, and I have said also, the best way to combat this virus is to respect your social distancing, certainly be very, very careful with your hygiene, and look out for one another. Just another reminder, the QR codes at race meetings must be completed. Yes, they do cause a short delay when you enter the facility, but be kind to those people who are only doing their job when they are asking you for those details. Again, COVID, we want to be COVID safe. We must be COVID safe. We've done so well for this past 12 months. Many of you may well know that 12 months ago, we entered into this new era in the world, really, in harness racing in particular. We fell into regionalised racing, something we don't really want to return to. So let's be protective of ourselves, of our industry, and be, as I say, COVID safe. And as I earlier expressed, the weekend ahead is chock full of racing. We start with Penrith, then Maitland, Dubbo, Wagga, Bankstown, and even Narrabri. And they can all be watched on Sky One, including Sky Active on Sunday from Riverina Paceway with Anthony Manton. And finally, from next week, the new Harness Racing New South Wales Industry, Media and Marketing Manager, Paul Cochran, will take over hosting the blog. You won't see me as often as what you'll have over this past 12 months as we've worked through the restrictions placed on us with COVID. However, Paul will produce a blog, hopefully with more interest than what you've seen in the past. That's not putting myself down, but people have said, let's see more of others. Well, that certainly will be the case from Paul. So I thank you for your patience over this 12 months with what we have been able to provide to you in information. I thank you all for taking that information on board and following it wherever possible. Well, that's it for the blog for this week. Just remember, be positive in what you do around harness racing and enjoy your harness racing, the sport you're involved in, the sport that you love.